Hello everybody. Excuse me. Welcome to another video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all the good stuff that helps us out. Well, helps me out. It's only me. I do very much appreciate it. So this is part two. I guess you'd call it episode 2 if you were keeping track of such things. I am starting to do that because of video. I would say editing, but video uploading, more to the point. Anyway, in part 1, we simply made a change to the date stream in order to write the live data, and we added a write lock and a read lock, which you can see here. Nothing fancy there. So in this part, we are going to read in and remove this file. So this video is just going to be designated to creating a little class. So we'll call it class data collector. I'll just define an init, remove it if we don't need it later, but it gets us going. Pass back in there. Okay, and then we're just going to create a quick function monitor for new data. Okay, and that's all we're going to do. And then while true, we'll try accept exception as E, and for now we'll just print out E, not 2. Okay, so what is our logical process then? Well, first of all, we know we don't even need to bother reading until we have a read lock. So we must have a read lock file. Have a read lock file. Okay, so we can simply do that if we just import OS. And then we just go while not os.path.exists, and we will have paths, and it will still be the read lock. And we're going to need to import time. Import time. So we'll just do a time.sleep, 0.3 of a second. Okay, so what we'll do is I'm actually going to have to start that one from the other side. Bear with me a second. Just get that running again. What did I call this now? Forex Pressure Series. So that's deployment. Date store templates. Here we go. I knew there was in here somewhere. So we'll just do Python. This data stream template. And there we go. So I'll stick that over here out of the way. So we're back to running, and that just means if I delete this completely, you'll see a new one pop up there. And we go in here, we should have, so what we are, 956, so we should go 95998, sorry. Okay. And then what we'll do here is we'll put print file found. Oh, help if we actually run the file, wouldn't it? So we'll do data collector equals data collector and data collector dot monitor for new data. Okay, so that should actually get us running now. And fingers crossed, we go up to here. Oh, there we go, file found. So it actually worked. Obviously a bit of a ball ache because it's now just going to repeat there. Okay, so while true, file found. And what we will do here, as we are a little bit short on video time, 5 minutes, we'll actually read in the file. So read in new data file. We don't need a path because it's prefixed in here, so it's a live file. Okay, so we'll well, we won't bother, we'll do a try. We'll just print out the E for now. We will come back and log all this properly and nicely eventually, but for now we're just getting through it. So we're going to have paths, and we're going to want the live file, and we're going to want to read it, and we're going to want the encodings to be UTF-8. Not sure whether that's required, but I like it. We'll set up contents equal to none, and then we'll set contents equal to JSON.load. We'll have to import that, and we're going to load F, and then we'll close F, and we'll just import JSON quickly. Okay, takes care of that, and then we'll return contents, and here we'll return none. Get an error. Okay, so if we find that, then if os.path.exists, and that would be paths and the live file, then we want to self, or we'll have a file contents, new data, we'll call it new data, equals self dot read in new file, and in the new file we'll have a bucket number, so we'll just print new data bucket number. Once we've done that, we will do os, or make a note here, remove both read lock and live file. So os.remove paths, we'll go live file first, if I could type, and then we'll do os.remove paths and the read lock, sorry, os.read, os.remove. Gonna say it should be pretty much the same, and away we go. So we should read that in and remove the files. So it's 1001, which is exactly what it said on the tin. So now we should wait, and we should get 1002, but you can see here in the data exchange that the files have disappeared. 1002, and we'll go one more for luck. We should have 1002 in here as well, so yeah. So there you go. So 438, and we'll know whether the day ends completely. But we've got a lot to do. Well, as we're 9 minutes into this video, apparently I still can't talk and breathe properly. As we're 9 minutes in, we'll get on with thrashing some out. So we'll check that in a minute. You'll see that ticking about down here. And we'll get rid of that. And we'll go up here. So what is this doing rather than just deleting the files that we've just created? Because I can see that seeming a little bit circular. Excuse me. Well, the whole purpose of this is to collect the data and to compare it with the last source, if that makes sense. Now, what we're going to have to do is pre-process the data, as it were. So what are we actually deriving? So we essentially just thinking this through, whether we need to create a midterm layer or we can just do it here. So what we're interested in are our 13 data points. So let me get them back up. That might help matters. Might not as well, but it might help. Now I did have them somewhere, and I seem to have lost them. Is that the ones? No, something similar but different. Right, let me go back into the lookup. Alright, so I don't think it was in there. It was not. I was right. That is also not it. It definitely wasn't in there. I'll find it. So much for a short video. Same crap. And still none the wiser where it is. Yeah, this might be the one. There we go. So error 13s. So what this then is telling me actually is we should change the secondary output. Seem to be wasting a computational cycle there. Because if we think about it, we're reading back in the data and then we're going to process it all in here. As well, if we separated the data, so the highs and the lows, that's absolutely fine. Tick changes compared to the previous tick, we can do that. Raw tick's irrelevant. So I think if we track those in the stream and create that output from the stream and just omit this, we don't need the raw ticks putting in here because we already have the raw ticks in there. So it might do better considering the obvious, as I said, flogging the data, is if I plonk them bits, them 13 things that we're going to track anyway, in here before the tick data, and then we just leave the tick packets, so we just don't bother putting in, because we're keeping just one set of tick packets, so we don't bother splitting the bid and ask out. We just keep them as raw ticks like so, and then we just put the rest in here basically. So I think that is what we're going to do. So this is more of a detecting the file. So what we've done is absolutely fine. That won't change. Just to be clear, that 8 minutes we took on that is not wasted. It'll still be used. But just on reflection, as we go to, and I get this a lot because, as I said in the introduction, I don't know what I'm doing. Just when I'm making it up as I go along, although there's some accuracy to that. We're figuring it out as we go, and that seems like a bit of an upgrade. So we're going to stop this here. As you can see, we seem to be working just fine. 1, 2, 3, worked out well, didn't it? Start at 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there we go. That's counted up 8 files. Yippee. It's because what I don't want is to get into processing data and then change it all here. So I think we're going to go back to that in the next one, and we're going to add in the ability to monitor these ones here. So we're going to have to do a bit more work, but it's just a selection and a bit of math at the end. So there's not actually anything too tricky in that. So yeah, we'll stop this video here. I'll get this one uploading, and then we'll do a dive back to the data stream, the data stream template, which, because we're going to chuck them all out as one in the end, I've done them as templates. You'll see that in another video later on. And yeah, we'll get this output piped into the stream, and the output here will change slightly, so we will get rid of all that and start again, as such, because it's kind of, I mean, we'll back it up and then we'll make a form of back processor later on. We got some other files, got a couple of weeks worth of these types of files kicking around at various different configurations and trying. So yeah, we stopped that, so you can see the data is now back to working fine. Read lock. Now we stopped it, but I'll stop the streamer as well, so we're not getting any more coming through. Just make sure that's all gone. Bear with me. Okay, so nothing's running, so we shouldn't have any more files come through. So, right, as I mentioned at the beginning, make sure you like, subscribe. Sorry for the bit of a backtrack here, but I think from, the output and the steps forward that we'll take from it, it will definitely be worthwhile. So we're not really changing anything, we're just doing a bit more computation in the stream engine to get a richer data set coming in. Else we're just saving some data, passing it in, then calculating upon that data. We're doing 2 steps in one, and if we're going to do the steps, we might as well do them here. Okay, so we'll get on with that in the next one. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Have a good day or good evening, whatever you're up to. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.